welcome all of you to another session of Saptarishis Astrology on how to improve our planetary karma, the series. And we have chosen the planet today, which is kind of considered to be a difficult planet, or there has to be some churning with that planet because that is how the story goes, and it is considered to be the karmic control axis in the chart. So so yes, so the planet is Rahu today, and we have to present to teach us none other than Sanati himself. Welcome, Sanati. Thank you so much for whatever you're doing for all of us, the series and many more series to come. And the way he puts it, the way of his presentation, the way of his teaching is so beautiful. Like he covers actually the everything. And one of his specialities is remedies and Ayurvedas. So that is really great. And thank you so much once again, Sanati. And now I'll stop and hand over everything to you.
Namaste, Madhuraji. Thank you so much for this support. I'm so deeply appreciative and grateful, and I feel so much support and spirituality and consciousness that we share together in this time. So I'm just so grateful. I can't thank you. My words cannot express my appreciation. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on how to improve our planetary karma with the North Node, known in Sanskrit as Rahu. And Rahu has a very powerful signification in Jyotish. It is considered one of the major Navagrahas, one of the 9 major planets in Jyotish. And so it is very important that we understand how to improve our planetary karma with this force known as Rahu. The reason I chose Rahu today is, well, there's a few different reasons. One is we're at this very powerful time with Rahu, where it is in a transition between one constellation and another, between one Rashi and another. And so currently, Rahu is making its transit out of the sign of Leo and into the sign of Cancer. One of the reasons why Rahu goes into Cancer instead of Virgo is because Rahu is permanently retrograde. Rahu has a force, Rahu has a karma, Rahu has an energy, has a permanent retrograde. So it is moving backwards through the signs and constellations versus forward through them. And so we're at this very powerful transitional point where Rahu is going from Leo into Cancer. And so we have to look at these vibrations of the karma with Rahu and the transitional energies and what that is going to be. So that was one of the reasons, is because we're at this cusp of Rahu. The second reason that I went with Rahu is because 3 days ago, I entered my own Rahu Antardasha. So 3 days ago, I was Saturn Mahadasha Lord, and Rahu is my Antardasha. This almost 3-year-long Rahu period. And time for me as well to remind myself how to improve my planetary karma with Rahu. Also, beyond this, I am a Rahu Lagna. I have Rahu in my first house. It's at 15 degree. A planet is strongest at 15 degrees. So Rahu in my Lagna at strongest degree. And it's also Aquarius Lagna. And so Aquarius at 15 degree is a Satabisha Nakshatra, which is also ruled by Lord Rahu. So Rahu is one of the strongest planets in my chart. And so I am particularly excited about this, how to improve our planetary karma with Rahu today. Sometimes I joke around with my clients that Rahu is my specialty. And that is just kind of a joke because Rahu is so strong in my chart. I have been working on improving my planetary karma with Rahu for many, many, many lifetimes. And so I hope I can continue to share that of how I'm seeking to improve my planetary karma with Rahu and help everyone in the world through Jyotish, through the light of Vedic astrology, how to improve their planetary karma with Rahu. So thank you all so much for joining us today. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, wonderful. And I'm sure it is your specialty. This is the best time to do the webinar.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see a large Shani Deva?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And so now can everyone see the cover of How to Improve Our Karma with Rahu?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, wonderful. So today we're going to be doing How to Improve Our Planetary Karma with Rahu. And so what does that mean? We're going to be understanding the karmic nature of Rahu and how that manifests in our life. And then we're going to use ancient remedy, contemporary lifestyle remedy, Ayurvedic remedy, and also paradigms or ways of thinking, ways to form our consciousness that will help us to improve our planetary karma with Rahu. And when we work on Rahu in this way, it helps us to achieve whichever aim of life Rahu is influencing in each individual's chart. So if Rahu in first house like me, improving with Rahu karma helps with my dharma. If Rahu is in 12th house, improving your karma with Rahu will help with moksha. If Rahu is in 10th house, it will help with artha, 11th house kama. So we can all work on Rahu and improving our karma in the same way by understanding the nature of Rahu and then doing all of these types of remedial practices. And depending on where Rahu sits in your chart, it will give you the rewards of that house. It will give you the rewards of the aim of life associated with that bhava. So traditionally in the Vedic ancient text, Rahu is called the commander of direction. And as we move forward into this webinar, we will fully understand, okay, what does it mean that Rahu is the commander of the direction, or the owner of the direction, or the guider of the direction? There are many different ways to interpret this title, but this is one of my favorite ways to describe Rahu. Some people call Rahu the shadow. I don't think that really describes its metaphysical or its karmic nature, although it does describe some of the qualities that it has and the significations it brings. It's not really fully describing what its spiritual properties are. I believe that when we improve our karma with Rahu, it helps align us to our soul's truest essence. It also helps determine one's true contentment as a soul and fully live in the moment. So these are three very powerful energies that when we improve our karma with Rahu, it will really help us align to these vibrations, which are soul's true essence, our soul's true contentment, and to be and live in the moment. It's very interesting that Rahu, why is Rahu akin to Saturn? One of the reasons why Rahu is akin to Saturn is because they both teach us how to live in, have a similar vibration, and that they are teaching us to be here now and live in this moment, that today, this minute, this second, all of these things which Rahu and Saturn are both teaching us together. The main difference is they have completely different teach you this lesson. As we talked about in the Saturn webinar, Shani is known as Shanaishcharya, the slow-moving planet. And so often Saturn teaches us to live in the moment by creating delays in our life, by creating obstacles in our life and challenges that we have to endure. And so Rahu carries a somewhat similar vibration, but it's not necessarily patience that it's using to help manifest these karmas. And so we'll talk about that as we move forward. We're going to cover 6 areas today. We're going to talk about the karma of Rahu, how that manifests. Then we're going to talk about Rahu's current transit in Leo and its upcoming transit in Cancer. Then we will have a discussion about Rahu karma and how that relates to planetary dignity, which is known as exaltation, debilitation, and favorable and unfavorable positions. Then we will talk about the improvement of Rahu karma, which is ancient, which is contemporary, and which is Ayurvedic. Then I have some community examples from people who have sent them in prior to this presentation today. And so we will go over those examples, and we will look at the questions as well as the charts of the individuals who sent those questions in to fully answer their query. And then we will conclude, and if we have time before the conclusion, we'll take some live questions from the audience. So if time permits, of course.
Yes, wonderful.
But before we get started, the most important part is for us to connect to this graha, is for us to connect to this planetary force. There is no better way to do this than through the traditional Jyotish mantra, through the traditional Vedic mantra, which is associated with the planet. Here on the left side of the screen, I have a Rahu Yantra, which has very powerful significations. In Sanskrit here, it says Shri Varaha Deva, which is the deity often associated with Rahu. As we look more into the right side of the screen, you have the Devanagari, the Sanskrit, and the translation of the traditional Rahu mantra. So I'm going to chant this mantra together. All of you, if you would like, that are joining us today or are viewing this video after its initial recording, I encourage you to join the mantra here, to read the words along the screen as much as is comfortable for you, to fully let this vibration of Rahu become present with all of us as we dive into understanding our karma. The last line there, which is the seed sound, I'm not going to be doing the seed sound. I'm going to be doing the tantric mantra, which is Om Brahm Brim Braham Saharahu Ve Namaha. And that will become clear once I get to that part of the mantra. And I encourage you to join me at that time.
Yes, wonderful. Om Dakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhika Garbha Sambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhita Garbha Sambutam. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam
sambutam tam Rahu pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardinam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tam Rahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardinam Simhita Garbha Sambutam Tam Rahu Pranamamyaham. Om Ram Rim Brahm Saha Rahuve Namaha. Om Ram Rim Brahm Saha Rahuve Namaha. Om Ram Rim Brahm Saha Namaha. Om Ram Brim Brahm Sarauve Namaha. Namaste, everyone. I hope that was enjoyable.
Yes, completely.
So now we will begin to discuss the karma as relates to Rahu. This karma with Rahu is has many different facets. It has many different aspects. And so we will talk about all of these assets, manifestations of Rahu karma. Rahu is often called the dark side of the moon, the shadow that the moon creates. These are common descriptions of Rahu, both in ancient Vedic understanding as well as contemporary understanding. I've always liked the term the dark side of the moon because if you're a fan of American music like I am, the great band Pink Floyd had an album called The Dark Side of the Moon. And so I believe that this vibration of the dark side of the moon is the inherent metaphysical energy of Rahu. So to understand Rahu as the dark side of the moon, without understanding what exactly that means yet, but to understand that there is a dark side of the moon or the shadow that the moon creates. One of the ways that we can understand this vibration, and they say that you can't see Rahu. Many people say, oh, Rahu is a shadow planet, upagraha. You cannot necessarily see it. I tend to disagree. I believe that you can see Rahu in the sky. When you are looking at a new moon, you see the little sliver of the slice of the moon, which is white. And this looks like a crescent moon. This crescent moon sits under Shiva's third eye. So this vibration here is very powerful of the crescent moon, which is the little sliver of the moon, which is white. Now, during that new moon, you can also see the rest of the moon. It's a circle around the 2 points of the crescent of the moon. And that shadow is black. So you can see the whole moon, but you only see it as black. So you see that the white part of the moon, which is the crescent moon, and then you see the whole circle of the moon, which is black. This whole circle of the moon, which is black after a new moon, which is the node, which is north of the south crescent moon. This is how you can actually see Rahu. Rahu is that shadow on the moon. So I do believe when you are looking at a new moon and you see the rest of the shadow of that moon, this is actually our ability to see Rahu, which is the node which is north above the crescent moon. Now, after a full moon, you begin to see the whole white of the moon, and then the whole white of the moon slowly delineates, or you slowly loosen the white of the moon, and you can see a crescent, which is the shadow, which is the south node under the full moon, and this is K2. So those that say you can't see Rahu K2, I disagree. You can most certainly see Rahu K2, which these are the shadows of the moon, the nodes upon the moon, which are manifested as the shadow.
Wow, it's brilliant, really brilliant. Like never thought in this way.
And I think during new moon, Rahu is strongest. During full moon, Ketu is strongest. And now, of course, you have to look at where Rahu and Ketu are at any given time. But generally speaking, I think the energy of Rahu is stronger when the moon is less potent. Because the Rahu and moon, they just very strong enemy. Because of this shadow or the dark side of the moon energy, Rahu's karma manifests as a shadow energy, a shadow vibration. This shadow energy of Rahu contains malefic, inauspicious, challenging vibrations. And we're going to talk about both the inauspicious vibration of Rahu and the beneficial, positive vibration of Rahu, especially when we have a powerful, positive relationship with this graha. I always like to start with the challenging aspects first and get to the rewards later. So this aspect of the shadow energy, which contains these malefic, inauspicious vibrations, are often associated with illusion, confusion, deception, poisons or toxins, and treachery. And so all of these words have different synonyms, but these are common ways that we understand some of the malefic karma expressions of Rahu, and we'll talk about these in more detail. Often the darker side of Rahu karma, which we're talking about here, which are the challenging energies, and again, Rahu is inherently a malefic force, often considered to be the most malefic force in a chart. Often the darker side of Rahu karma must be properly worked through in order to experience certain rewards or benefits from the positive aspects of Rahu. In other words, those that have not worked through karma with Rahu, then they have very challenging effect of Rahu. You do not experience the auspicious side of Rahu, the beneficial side of Rahu, the positive aspect of really work through the challenging aspect of Rahu as a soul. So if you only experience the malefic or inauspicious effect of Rahu, it shows that maybe in this lifetime, maybe in past lifetime, you haven't really wanted to work on this karma. I was saying earlier to those that were joining in with us early that it is very common that people don't like to work with Rahu. They don't want to improve their planetary Rahu. Why? Because they say Rahu is a demon. I don't want to relate to a demon. I don't want to worship a demon. I don't want to do anything to emphasize my relationship with the demon. But the truth is this shadow or this darker side of the moon that manifests in the universe, this is a manifestation of the reality that we're living in. In traditional Parashara lineage, Rahu is considered one of the Navagraha, one of the 9 major planets. That means it is given equal weight as far as all of the other planets, Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, Rahu, and Ketu, given the equal amount of power and emphasis. So to say that Rahu doesn't exist, to say that Rahu, we don't want to improve our planetary karma with Rahu, I believe this has very profound karmic consequences. This has very profound karmic challenges. Sometimes the worst thing we can do is pretend that Rahu doesn't exist, because the truth is Rahu does exist. So if you do not honor this existence, which is a force of the universe, then you are denying part of God's creation. You are denying part of this universe that exists. So sometimes I believe that even though people are maybe less disposed to improving their planetary karma with Rahu, that there may not be another planet that is more important in order to complete our spiritual evolution here. So through Rahu karma is relevant to this lifetime, but often, very often, where Rahu sits and our karma as relates to it has profound significations for our past lifetimes as well. As a Rahu Lagna who has Rahu in its own nakshatra in the Lagna, this karma with Rahu, it's been present for many, many lifetimes, which means that there have been some aspects of my past lifetimes which have had a Rahu theme to them. And again, I've always felt kind of like an outsider, you know, born in America, not really relating to this country all that much, as you know, and it manifests. Always kind of feel like a stranger no matter where I am. And this is probably a karma that has manifested in more than one lifetime. So this kind of outsider karma, this kind of outsider dharma. So Rahu karma, when we consciously work through it, which means we're honoring Rahu, we're recognizing Rahu's existence, we're understanding Rahu's karma, and we're seeking with awareness in our spiritual sadhana to improve this karma with Rahu. It contains so many powerful, positive, metaphysical vibrations that include the revelation of our purpose. So when we really work through this karma with Rahu, it reveals to us our purpose in the deepest of levels, on the material realm and the spiritual realm. And we'll talk about how that does it. But basically, as we work through these karmas with Rahu, we really are getting to the root of our metaphysical and material purpose here. Rahu karma is extremely connected to foreign lands, foreign and exotic cultures. Rahu loves the foreign and the exotic. Rahu loves the non-traditional. Rahu loves the mystical. And so Rahu karma relates to foreign lands, foreign cultures, the non-traditional, and the mystical. And so an example that I mentioned is not only as having Rahu in the Lagna am I strongly love to travel, but I've always loved that which is foreign. I've spent times living in other countries, and when I spend times in these other countries, I adopt the culture of these countries. I spent time living in South America, I adopted the South American culture. I spent time living in the Caribbean, I adopted the South American culture. So it shows this connection to the foreign lands as well as these foreign cultures. What does it mean foreign? Something that you're not born into. If you were born in India, then your attraction to America is considered. If you're born in America, your attraction to India is considered foreign. So it is these vibrations here which takes you outside of the land you were born in. It is these vibrations which take you outside of the religion that you were born in. It is these vibrations that take you outside of the culture, foreign land, religion, cultures, all of these things is a powerful manifestation of Rahu karma. And so later, when we discuss how to improve our planetary karma with Rahu, it is honoring this foreign and exotic vibration that can really help improve our karma with Rahu. As we mentioned earlier, Rahu contains significations of toxicity and poison. This is akin to the story of Rahu. Contrarily, Rahu karma also has profound significations for purification, medicine, and metaphysical healing. This aspect of poison and healing is inseparable. That poison in its right dose is actually can be used as a medicine, and medicine used in its improper dose quickly turns into a poison. As you get into Ayurvedic medicine, you learn about the metal therapy. They use mercury, they use silver, they use gold. These are substances which are incredibly toxic to the body. But after going through a heavy level of purification and then used in a very minuscule proper amount, it becomes one of the greatest medicines. When if it wasn't purified and you took too much of it, you would die within 72 hours. So there is this vibration, which is the same substance, which can either be healing or which can be toxic. And so there's this karma that relates to Rahu. How do we understand poisons? How do we understand toxins? How do we understand medicine? How do we understand healing and the relationship between the two? So as someone with very strong Rahu in their chart, I am attracted to poison. I am attracted to these certain poisons. I try to take these poisons and use them as medicine. I try to, like, metal therapy, other types of poisons that sometimes can be kind of dangerous. I like to put them through a purification, and I like to use them in the proper amount so they can be used as healing, so they can be used as medicine. And so there's almost this alchemical energy of taking a poison and making it a medicine, and making sure that medicine is consumed in its proper amount so that it remains a medicine. So as I mentioned with the foreign lands, foreign cultures, Rahu Karma also represents the full acquisition of our non-traditional mystical or occult power. In other words, Rahu is the full realization of our mystical or occult power. In our sense, what is our spiritual power, our siddhi, all of these vibrations, which is outside of normal understanding. What is our power, which is outside of the tradition that we were born in? You know, for example, my dharma and my gifts are as a Jyotisha in Vedic astrology. This aspect of my life is non-traditional. I was born in the West. So this, where my gifts are, where my greatest mystical and occult gifts are, they're outside of anything that relates to the culture or place I was born into. So this is just an example of how this karma manifests as well, which is that Rahu represents the full acquisition of our occult power. And so those with very strong Rahu in their chart have a very strong possibility as they work through and improve their karma with Rahu to achieve mystical and occult powers. Rahu moves permanently retrograde. Rahu is constantly moving backwards in degrees. Rahu is currently moving backwards through signs. As we talked a little bit about earlier, Rahu is currently in Leo, moving into Cancer, not moving into Virgo because of this permanently retrograde motion. And so a lot of the associations or vibrations or energies of Rahu can seem backwards or reverse. A lot of the times I explain the Rahu karma to my clients and they say, oh, this sounds backward, this sounds reverse. Well, of course it does, because Rahu is permanently reverse. So if anything sounds reverse about Rahu, that is because Rahu is always moving reverse. And so that reversal energy, that backwards vibration energy, is very strong within the manifestation of Rahu karma. Now, what am I really saying when this backwards reverse motion of Rahu? I always say that Rahu shows us who we truly are. Again, our soul's true essence, what we truly want, what we truly need, and what we truly deserve. All of these extremely powerful, positive things. But Rahu shows us this through experiencing the contrary or the opposite. So in other words, Rahu shows us who we are, what we want, what we need, what we deserve, by going through experiences of who we are not, what we don't want, what we don't need, what we don't deserve. So Rahu reveals to us the truth of all of these things. But the only way that the truth is revealed is by the experience of the contrary, is by the experience of the opposite. And that's kind of this vibration of having to go through things the hard way. Another energy which is similar to Saturn, and Rahu is considered akin to Saturn, but this vibration of having to go through things the hard way. Why do you have to experience who you are not to find out who you are? Because Rahu karma. Why do you have to experience what you want, what you need, by experiencing the opposite? Rahu karma. In other words, a very simple example of this is, let's say that someone doesn't like eating peanuts, but they don't know because they've never tried a peanut. Then they try the peanut, they realize that the peanut is not something that they would like to eat, and they never have to eat another peanut again. This is the most simplest example, and it has no meaning, but this is a vibration of, in order to find out what you like to eat, you have to experience what you don't like to eat. This is just an example, but karma manifests in a bigger way, in that we have to go through experiences in our life at some point, and we may say during those experiences, this is not who I am, this is not what I want, but you didn't really know who you were before you experienced that. So you had to go through that experience to figure it out. So oftentimes with people with strong Rahu karma, people in Rahu Mahadasha, people in, in strong Rahu transit, that they might find themselves in certain experiences. This is not who I am, this is not who I want, but it's going to show you who you are. You may find yourself in certain experiences, this isn't what I like, this isn't what I need, this isn't what I deserve. Like a husband who you thought you loved, and then after being married to him, he began to verbally abuse you, and then he grabbed you. So this is an example of, you thought that this was the person you wanted, then you realize this isn't what I want, this isn't what I need, this isn't what I deserve. And as a process of that, you realize what you do want, what you do need, what you do deserve. In this example, it would be the right kind of partner who always talks to you kindly, who always talks to you with support, who always talks to you with love, who would never even consider putting his hands on you in an aggressive way. That is what you need, that is what you like, that is what you deserve. But maybe the person who you thought he was, you have to experience that he is not really that person for you to realize this is exactly what you do need or what you do want. So again, a lot of the karmas with Rahu can be we're inherently going through experience contrary to what we need, what we deserve. But there is no better way to figure out exactly who you are than to remove everything which you are not. There is no better way to find out what you need than to remove everything which you don't need. And so there is no better way to find anything out for 100% certain unless we go through Rahu karma. But again, it is inherently connected to having to go through things in this challenging way. Our truest self, in essence, is extremely simple and divine. So there are many philosophers, spiritual teachers, gurus, and they say that our true essence is not very complicated, that our true essence is not very confusing or complicated. It is simple, it is divine, and it is beautiful. And so a lot of the things which we think about ourselves are not really who we are. And so it is the removal of all of these aspects of which we are not that reveals this essence of what we truly are. In other words, once we take away all of the things which we thought we were and we realize which we are not, then all that's left is us. All that's left is our truest self. All is left is our most divine essence. All is left is our most simplest essence. But we have to remove all of these false aspects, these shadow aspects, these dark aspects, to be able to let the light of us, which is our true, simple, divine essence, shine. So in other words, to work through this karma with Rahu is to truly allow that inner divinity and light to shine. But you have to be going through these experiences of, I'm not sure who I am, and I think I might be this. Well, then you have to go towards that thing which you think you might be. And you may find out because of Rahu, that's not really what you want, or what you really want to be, or what you really are. But you have to go through that experience in order to get there.
Very true.
So that permanently retrograde vibration or karma of Rahu really manifests in this experiential vibration. So Rahu karma also creates an austerity. Rahu is often said to give austerity, and a lot of times when people are like, Rahu gives austerity, why would Rahu give austerity? One of the words translations of austerity is seriousness of thought. So Rahu creates this austerity or seriousness of thought through the challenging karma of having to go through things the hard way or enduring experiences contrary to the individual's true nature or essence. So basically, when you've gone through so many experiences which are contrary to who you are, to what you want, to what you need, to what you deserve, you're done with it. Goodbye. Hello, goodbye. You're saying goodbye to all of these false aspects. And because you had to go through it in such a challenging way, you are extremely clear and strong about who you are and what you do need and what you do deserve. So because you had to go through all of these challenging experiences that are contrary to who you are, it creates a seriousness in the person. It creates an austerity of the person where they are never willing to sacrifice who they are or what they want because they've had to go through so many challenging things in order to get there. So the seriousness of thought, which Rahu empowers through evolution of its karma, can encourage an individual to follow their soul's true path, which is based on your soul's true essence, with astounding clarity, determination, and almost complete certainty. So this austerity that's created when we work through Rahu karma, again, this primarily manifests through Maha Rahu Dasha and Antar Rahu Dasha, that this seriousness of thought, which Rahu empowers, once you remove all of these aspects which really support you being aligned to your true path. And like I said, this austerity means that you would never sacrifice that for anything. This seriousness or austerity will allow an individual to fully align with what they need, want, or deserve in life with absolute clarity. And as I mentioned, there should be no willingness after a Rahu Mahadasha to sacrifice who you think you are or what you want to do, because you had to go through a very long period of time of figuring that out in a challenging fashion. Another common association with Rahu is it's symbolized as fog and smoke. Okay, Rahu is often symbolized as fog and smoke. This symbol of Rahu is great understanding of the karma of Rahu. So it's important to understand Rahu as fog and smoke to truly understand the full manifestation of the Rahu karma. Now, what do I mean? If you are ever in an environment, whether outside or inside, where you are surrounded in a thick pad of concentrated fog and smoke, it is impossible to see. First of all, this thick fog and smoke makes it incredibly hard to see. And in this thick fog or smoke, it would be considered dangerous to drive. If it's very horrible fog, you cannot drive because you cannot see the car next to you. You cannot see the car behind you. This is an example of, in this fog and smoke, which is related to Rahu, it's not good to drive, okay? It's also not good to travel or venture out. But for the purpose of this analogy, we're understanding it as driving in the fog. Now, this metaphor symbolizes that when it comes to our karmas that relates to Rahu, the future is hidden, obscured, and shrouded from us. So when we're in this thick fog and smoke, we can't see ahead of us. We can't see as ahead of us. And this is an analogy that Rahu karma, as it manifests, keeps away the future, or as I like to say, rips away the future or tears away the future. So this example of Rahu karma, there is so much fog and smoke, and this fog and smoke happens during Rahu Mahadasha, Rahu Antardasha, Rahu Transit, Rahu Lagna, all of these, Rahu Atmakarika, all of these vibrations are very strong of fog and smoke for those kind of significations. And so for people who have that kind of vibration in their chart, the future is stolen from them. Just like how Rahu stole Amrita, the future is stolen from them. So Rahu will take away your future, which is your ability to clearly see it, control it, or in an environment of concentrated thick fog and smoke, it would also be dangerous to backtrack to prior point or to go behind you to somewhere that you need to go. Because if you were to go back, because of all the fog and smoke, you'll never be able to get back to home. You'll never be able to get back to where you were. This analogy is that it might be impossible to fully understand the past, because the past is taken away from us, which means the past is the past for those that have strong Rahu karma. You are not supposed to look in the past. You are not supposed to go in the past, because if you do go in the past, because of Rahu, our ability to see clearly and understand the past clearly is obscured. It's hidden, it's shrouded. And so because of this, the future is hidden from us and the past is hidden from us, which means we cannot accurately see, understand, or discern what the future vibration is or what the past vibration is. Which means if Rahu karma is strong, what you think is the future is lie. What you think of the future is false. What you think of the future is Maya. It's illusion. Because Rahu takes away our ability to accurately see what the future is. So you're just wrong. It is inaccurate. Okay? And this is the form of deception. There is no greater deception, and that thinking your future is different than it actually is going to be. This kind of deception is very painful on the soul of an individual. This kind of confusion as to working everything you are for your future that is not actually what your future is supposed to be. So again, this karma can be very challenging, because usually those with strong Rahu karma, they worry about the future and they worry about the past. But from a karmic perspective, it is impossible for them to accurately see what the past or the future is. So as there is a constant delusion, there is a constant deception, there is a constant confusion. And so the best thing you can do if Rahu karma is strong is to completely forget about the future and the past, particularly forgetting about any expectations or certainty that you think you have about what that is. Now, when the future is hidden and its clarity taken away, and the past is hidden and the clarity is taken away, I ask the rhetorical question, what's left? And when the past is taken, what is left? What is this guru, Sri Rahu, what is Rahu trying to convey to us? And this does not matter where Rahu is in your chart. This does not matter what Rahu sign is in. All that matters is trying to convey when the future is taken away and the past is taken away from our belief. I believe that all that's left is the moment. When the future is taken away and the past is taken away, all that's left is the moment. So what is this guru Rahu trying to convey? To live in the moment. This is a value, a metaphysical value that all the great gurus and spiritual teachers say. There was a huge consciousness shift in the 1960s and 70s here from Vedic thought and culture, which is about being here now. And then there are also many philosophies and theories like Eckhart Tolle about the power of now. But basically, one of the most powerful spiritual lessons that any soul here on earth can learn is how to live in the moment, how to live in this day, how to live in this hour, how to live in this minute, how to live in this second, without constantly being preoccupied about the future, without constantly being preoccupied of past. So this Rahu karma is extremely positive, because I believe there is no better teacher of us for how to live in the moment, because there is no ability to accurately perceive the future or the past. And so when those things are completely taken away from us, we have no choice but to live in the moment. My astrology teacher says, you better live in the moment because you have no choice. So this is a vibration here of of really metaphysical aspects of Rahu, which is to teach our souls while it's incarnated in this physical form, how to live in a moment-to-moment consciousness.
Extremely true. Well said.
And so before I move on, thank you, Madhuraji. Before I move on, I just want to say that Rahu is often considered a demon, but I love Rahu, and I would not say Rahu is any more demon than angel. Rahu, during its mythology, had achieved God realization. It had become immortal by drinking the Amritam. Yeah, there was some deception in that process. Yeah, there was some confusion in that process. Yeah, there was some misleading in the process. But what was the end result? Complete realization of its godlike vibration. And so because of that, I think we can also understand Rahu as an angel. We don't have to understand Rahu as only a demon. So I like to differentiate that based on our consciousness, based on our spirituality. Rahu karma will either manifest in our lifetime as an angelic karma or as a demonic karma. And you have to understand this vibration of Rahu to fully manifest its angelic karma. And so I say that Rahu is a demon to those individuals who are constantly preoccupied and attempting to control the future and the past. When we are constantly preoccupied and thinking, this is when Rahu really like to act demon, because you are not learning any of the lesson which Rahu is trying to teach you, which is to live in the moment and surrender this past or the future. So that Rahu really acts like a demon if you are constantly thinking about and worrying about and trying to control the future or the past, which because of Rahu karma, you cannot accurately perceive. And so because of this vibration, Rahu will cause destruction. Rahu will cause chaos. Rahu will cause disorder. Rahu will even cause accident and death. Because if we are trying to control the future or control or understand the past, when it is impossible to accurately perceive, then we are creating karma. That is the nature of the creation of karma, is that something that is not intended for us, which is our dharma, is being created, which is out of falseness, which is out of illusion, which is out of deception. And so this is when Rahu will really cause destruction. Oh, you want to move to Hawaii because you think that Hawaii is the place that you're meant to be for the rest of your life. And so you buy a house in Hawaii thinking you're going to spend the rest of your life there as soon as you go into Rahu Mahadasha. And just for the sake of the example, let's say Rahu 4th house. So you move to Hawaii thinking your whole life and future is there. Well, after 3 weeks, you come home from dinner and your entire house is on fire, completely burned, nothing left of it. Because you tried to control the future instead of just being in the moment. You put all of your eggs in this one basket, which you thought was your future. But the truth is that God or the universe or however you want to understand it has a different plan. And so when you do your plan instead of God's plan, this is your will over God's will. And we are always supposed to put God's will over our will. And so this is the demonic nature of Rahu, which when we put our will over God's will cause unbounding destruction and chaos in one's life. But again, this is just like it is really a spiritually evolutionary energy, but it is just manifesting as extremely painful lessons here. Now, I also say that Rahu is angel. Rahu is guru. Rahu is deva, Varaha deva. This vibration of the higher nature of Rahu, the angelic nature of Rahu, is rewarded to those who have fully understand how to live in the moment, how to live in the day, how to live in the hour, how to live in the minute, and ideally live second to second to second to second. And again, our consciousness moves too quick in the Kali Yuga to understand 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. but this is truly how the most powerful manifestation of living in the moment. And so when we can fully live in the moment, Rahu is like an angel, not only rewarding us with spiritual evolution, gaining more insight into our dharma, gaining more insight into our true nature, but also when Rahu has powerful indications to helping us on the material realm. Like Ketu is associated with the spiritual realm more than the material. Rahu is associated more with the material. And so because of this vibration, when we actually live in the moment, as far as our material purpose, then that is when the greatest rewards ever happen. So in a sense, our material rewards are also really great by Rahu when we live in the moment. And again, just to summarize that point, Rahu is a demon who will cause unbounding chaos and destruction in your life if you prioritize, see, control, or think you know what the future is. If you go back in the past and you try to understand something which was very confusing, which happened in the past, it will just cause more confusion. Rahu will also cause a lot of chaos and unbounding terror for going in the past. But for those that live in the moment, 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, Rahu is this great angel rewarding you with not only spiritual reward, but material reward as well. One of the ancient Vedic descriptions of Rahu, which we chanted in the beginning of our class today, is that Rahu is the commander of direction, or the controller of direction. This can be interpreted in many ways. This title bestowed upon Rahu has profound metaphysical implications. Rahu makes us worry, obsess, and fixate on all aspects of our life which we have no influence or control over. Again, this is challenging because inherently Rahu is testing us, encouraging us to worry, obsess, and fixate on everything in life which we can do nothing about. So we can't do anything about it, and nonetheless, Rahu makes us worry about it. In other words, in order for us to get past this karma, we can't not worry about it. That's not working through the karma. We can't not obsess about it. That's not working through the karma. We can't not fixate on it. That's not working through the karma. Where our consciousness worries, obsesses, and then we have to work through that karma to realize we have no influence, we have no control, we cannot do anything about these things which we worry and obsess over. And once we work through that karma, that's how we improve the karma from that aspect. Rahu is often described as an archer. And so there are many images of Rahu in which he is yielding a beautiful bow and arrow. And this analogy is very good at understanding the karma of Rahu as well. Rahu, who pulls his arrow and shoots it in the direction which he has set his sight on and commanded. Again, Rahu is the commander of direction. And so as an archer, he sees the future. Rahu takes away the future from us, but the Graha Rahu can see everything. Again, this is part of its karma that it manifests. So it takes its arrow and it shoots it in this direction, which is our future, which is our fate, which Rahu has commanded and directed. This metaphor signifies that all of the aspects of life which we are obsessed about and we attempt to control or influence have already been determined in a finite fate sort of way. So there are, in Jyotish, there are many ways of understanding fate. Often the people think there is a disagreement, that we either live in a world of fate or that we live in a world of free will. But as you understand Jyotish more, you understand that both are present. one of the karmas that we manifest is that actions have a reaction, action have a consequence, actions create other things. But also karma is a possibility. When we're looking at a Jyotish chart, we're looking at a map of all of these possibilities. And all of these possibilities based on these alignments could be different. And based on free will choices and decisions that we make, we influence which possibility our soul aligns to. But there is also our dharma, which is our fate, which is what God has created us here. So there are possibilities of karmas which we influence based on our decisions, and then there are also karmic aspects which relate to our dharma, which we have no influence over. And so this aspect of free will and fate are not mutually exclusive. They both exist in harmony with each other. And I think our mind often thinks dualistically. If this exists, then this must not exist. If this must not exist, if my religion is right, then your religion must be wrong. And this kind of thinking has got us nowhere. It is important that we understand that both of things can coexist together. And so anyway, as getting back into this Rahu shot its arrow at our fate. Rahu shot its arrow at our fate, which means our fate to a certain aspect as relates to Rahu is already determined, which means our destination, how the karma manifests at the end of the Rahu Mahadasha, at the end of our Rahu return, how this karma manifests is already chosen. Nothing we can do will make any difference. No choices we make, no decisions we make, nothing we do is going to have any influence over what Rahu has already controlled. And Rahu sees the direction of all things. This energy as the commander of direction, the controller of direction, is about that Rahu has already shot its arrow at our fate, and yet we are to worry and be nervous and be concerned about what it is, even when it's already decided, even when it's already set in stone, even when that direction has already been set. Our fate in the relates to Rahu has already been set. And nonetheless, we worry about it, we obsess about it, we stress about it, we're anxious about it, we're nervous about it. All of these karmas manifest with Rahu. And yet at the same time, there's nothing we can do. We're made to worry about them, and there's nothing that we can do about it. It will manifest how it's meant to. And so this direction and destination, as mentioned, has already been chosen and guaranteed by Rahu's vibration as the commander or controller of direction. And even though we cannot see our future, and we are constantly worrying about it and anxious about it and obsessing about it as relates to Rahu. If Rahu's in the second house, worrying about money. If Rahu's in the 10th house, worrying about career. If Rahu's in the, seventh house, worrying about our relationship. And yet that karma is already set. It's already our fate. So best not to worry about it. But this is the catch-22 because Rahu makes you worry about it. So you have to not only experience what you are worrying, what you are nervous, what you are anxious about, but you have to realize that some of that vibration is already set. And so there's no use in worrying about it. It will only cause you chaos. Let's say someone started their Rahu Mahadasha and Rahu is in 7th house. And they are 35 years old and they still not married. Well, odds are that when Rahu Mahadasha begins, they will become very worried about getting married. They will become very worried about finding their partner, being with their partner. Oh, how do I find this person? Do I need to go on dating website? Do I need to talk to my father? Do I need to talk to my mother? Do I need to talk to my uncle? Do I need to ask my guru? Worry, worry, worry. I'm 35, I'm getting older and I have never been married and I want to find my partner. I want to find my soulmate. This is all this worry. But most likely because of the Rahu arrow and the commander of direction, by the end of the Rahu period, they will already be married. And it's possible because of Rahu, they will get married during that Rahu period, and then they will get divorced later. But not always, depending on the position of Rahu and other aspects. It could be a very beneficial marriage that lasts a whole lifetime. And yet, when that is supposed to happen, how it's supposed to happen, the vibration surrounding it, they're going to align around that vibration. And so you worrying about it is only making it worse. You being concerned, you being obsessed about it is only making it worse. So again, even though this activation makes a person worry, oh, when will I get married? When will I find this partner? When I am so lonely, I need to be with this person. That the day you're supposed to meet this person and fall in love is already specific and a fate that you are supposed to experience in your lifetime. So again, there's this dichotomy for this area which we are worried and concerned about, and our ability to surrender all control of it. Another description of Rahu karma that I like to mention is that Rahu has a strong connection to our past lifetime experiences. What does that mean? Just like Rahu in the mythology was craving to drink the Amrita so he could experience eternal life, so he could experience this infinite experiences. And so wherever Rahu in the chart, it represents this desire for experience, because Rahu wanted infinite experiences in his eternal form, Samhita. And this vibration of the soul's bucket list, it carries through many lifetimes. What do I mean is that there are certain experiences which our soul wants to go through, needs to go through until it's ready to moksha. And remember, there is a relationship between Rahu and Ketu, and Ketu is moksha karaka. And so we're getting at the vibration of that relationship as well. But where Rahu sits in one's chart, the karmas that relates to Rahu, it means that your soul still has certain experiences that it wants to have before it is even ready to fathom the concept of moksha. In other words, our soul has to live a full life in many lifetimes and have many experiences before it's ready to not be reincarnated anymore. In other words, our soul is thirsty for experiences of life, and until we experience those, until we quench the thirst of those experiences which our soul is thirsty for, we are not ready for our highest spiritual evolution. We still have to go through these experiences of life. Someone like me with Rahu and Lagna, I know my whole life is about just going through these experiences, having more experiences, that my soul desires to have all these type of diverse, profound experiences that I believe in my past lifetimes what my soul was not allowed to have. We currently live in a time of technology, and Rahu is indicated technology where we can communicate all around the world. How blessed are we that in this time that we have people joining from us from all these different countries, and that this organization is centered out of Mumbai, India. This is so amazing, and that is only possible now in this time that we're living in. So there are so many experiences that we only get to experience as a humanity now. And so I know my Rahu in the Lagna has a lifetime of experiencing what is possible to experience. I look at people's chart, I say, oh, you can be prepared for moksha. You can be prepared for transcendence. Maybe you are ready to end this cycle of reincarnation. But I'll be the first one to say that I'm not afraid to admit that I am not going to experience this in this lifetime. Because my soul, as relates to all of this Rahu karma in my chart, has so many experiences that it needs to have before it's ready, that I don't even think it will even be able to get to all of those experiences in this lifetime. So again, it can show the amount of experience you need to have on the material realm, on the physical realm, in your body, in life, before you're ready for your highest level of spiritual realization. Similar to how Rahu craved the Amrita nectar, in relationship for his desire for eternal life and divine realization, the Rahu karma in a Jyotish chart will show us where our most intense cravings are and desire for experiences. And these experiences must be investigated and worked through from a karmic perspective in order for our highest material and spiritual realization. So again, if Rahu is in the second house, your desires, artha, material prosperity, material wealth, finances, and until your soul or life experiences some level of wealth, which is the rewards of the second house, you will not be able to fully evolve to your spiritual level, because this on the deepest level is what your soul is experiencing. Again, your soul is, the karma with Rahu shows where your soul's deepest desires are for experiences. And this experience must be experienced. This desire for experience, this thirst for experience, it has to be experienced. It has to go, you have to go through it in order for your soul to really be satisfied, in order to go to its next level of spiritual evolution.